Morning students, myself Rashni Sharma, and I'm going to start with a new topic in front of you. Now, in the previous lecture, we discussed about the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, which was signed on 5th March 1931 between Mahatma Gandhi and Lord Irwin. And because of that pact, in December 1931, Gandhiji went to London for the conference, but the discussions went futile, and he returned disappointed. Back in India, he discovered that the government had begun a new cycle of repression. Most of the political leaders in jail, and Congress had been declared illegal. With great apprehension, Mahatma Gandhi relaunched the civil disobedience movement, but it lost its momentum by 1934. Now, our next topic is efforts made by Gandhiji for the upliftment of Dalits. Gandhiji was against untouchability. He said that Swaraj would not come for 100 years if untouchability was not abolished. He called the untouchables Harijan or Son of God. He organized satyagraha to get temple entry and access to public wells, tanks, roads, and schools for Dalits. He cleared Harijan colonies, and in his ashram there was no caste feelings. He asked the upper caste Hindus to give up the inhuman practice of untouchability. Gandhiji versus Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar demanded separate electorate for the Dalits because Ambedkar thought that only because of the political power they get some basic rights for their people. He thought that a share in political power would help in their upliftment. Gandhiji opposed separate electorate. He thought that it would create disunity. So they often clashed in the second round table conference. Pune Pact. It was signed between Gandhiji and Ambedkar in September 1932. Gandhiji brought an end to his fast. He accepted the demand for reservation of seats for Dalits in the legislature. Ambedkar agreed to give up the demand for separate electorates. It gave depressed classes reserved seats in central provincial councils, but they were to be voted by the general electorate. Now, our last topic of this chapter is the sense of collective belonging. Though nationalism spread through the experience of united struggle, but a variety of cultural processes captured the imagination of Indians and promoted a sense of collective belongingness. There was a need to create that spirit among the people, that to ignore the individuality we have to work for the collective approach. Only then we can create a sense of collective belongingness among the people. Bharat Mata. The image of Bharat Mata. Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay created the image of Bharat Mata. Abanindranath Tagore painted her image. Bharat Mata looked like a sannyasini. She is calm, divine, and spiritual. Devotion towards her became a proof of nationalism. This created a feeling of nationalism in front of the people, and the people came together and fought for our independence. This is the image of Bharat Mata. Vande Mataram. It was a prayer to Bharat Mata written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. Vande Mataram became the war cry of the Indians. It was later included in his novel Anand Mat. Now, national flag. During the Swadeshi movement, a tricolor flag, red, green, and yellow, was developed. It had 8 lotuses representing the 8 provinces of the British India. It also had crescent moon which represented Hindus and Muslims. The flag became a symbol of the nation. It created the feeling of oneness. The people carried a flag in protest, marches, and rallies. Next, Indian folklore. Nationalists started recording and using folklores and tales which they believed gave a true picture of traditional culture that had been corrupted and damaged by outside forces. Outside forces means by the foreigners. When they made their colony in India, then they actually corrupted our books in which they mention that the Indians were meant only for the slavery, only they just only provide services to the Europeans, and this was inculcated by them. And that's why by using the folklores and tales, our various famous personalities worked for this and created the feeling of collectiveness among the people, and this also create the feeling of togetherness. Next, reinterpretation of history. Indians began looking into the past to rediscover the glorious developments in ancient times in the field of art, science, mathematics, religion, and culture, etc. This glorious time was followed by a history of decline when India got colonized, as Indian history was miserably written by the colonizers. Now, our chapter is complete. This is done for today. Again, if anyone have any query, then you can ask on my personal number. Thank you.